Hey guys, Alicia here with Working Dog Radio, Torchlight Canine, and Oil Capital Canine Fund. I'd like to say thank you guys for listening to us for the past 6 years. That would not be possible without you and without our sponsors. We want to say thanks to Ray Allen Manufacturing. They've been a longtime partner of ours. They're friends of ours. We do equipment with them. We use their equipment every day. Ray Allen, the letter K, the number 9, on socials, Ray Allen Canine. Please check them out at rayallen.com. Everybody wants to feed their dog well, and if you're feeding them Kinetic, you are. It takes the guesswork out of it. They've got some new supplements coming, some new flavors coming. We're going to have some previews for you. Please tune in for that. KineticDogFood.com, 513-615-6904. Check them out. American aluminum products save dogs' lives. All of our officers use their canine inserts. They also make some really nice rad crates and a lot of other things, including training aids. Check them out. American Aluminum Accessories on the socials. You can call them toll free, 800-277-0869, or email them for a quote at quotes@aaa-mail.com. Horizon Structures is a one-stop shop for your dog kennels. If you guys are serious about this and you're getting into it, you need space for dogs, give them a call, 888-447-4337. From mild to wild, let your imagination go. They can make it and drop it off at your door. Horizon Structures. And we would really like it if you guys would follow us on our new YouTube, Working Dog Radio YouTube. You're going to be able to see our pretty faces. You're going to be able to see our ads and our guests. We're going to have some really cool training videos. We're going to release podcasts earlier in that avenue. So please join us on our YouTube. We really appreciate you. Thank you for listening.
All right, everybody, we are back with Working Dog Radio, broadcasting the bite. As always, I am Eric Stammer from Canton, Ohio, or south of Canton, Ohio, I guess. So with me is Ted Summers from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Ted, what is going on over there?
Not a lot. It's cooled down a little bit, thank God. So that's nice. I'm just getting this next class prepped. I have 14 dogs in this next class, plus an additional, I think, 3 handler schools. So I'm going to have like 17 handlers in this next class.
Nice.
2 bomb dogs. The rest are all the other single or dual purpose narcotics. So yeah, I'm busy. Plus we got a bunch of pets and it's vacation season. If you're listening to this, it's July 9th and everyone's on vacation. So for those listening, any of my handlers that live within a couple of hours of me, I agree to watch their dogs for free, mainly because there's case law on it. And we have some dogs that are not the easiest to kennel. And the last thing I need is them eating some poor 18-year-old vet tech or kennel tech or whatever. So we watch the dogs that we train for our departments. So a lot of my handlers are going on vacation. So I have a lot of those assholes in the kennel right now. And they're not easy to deal with because they're trying to fucking destroy everybody and everything. So, yeah, what about you?
Today I drove down to Columbus in the morning. I was invited by a friend of mine to speak at a CART seminar, or CART class, not a seminar, just a class. And CART for that stands for Child Abduction Response Team. And it's abducted children, missing children, a little bit of some adults and stuff like that. And so they're kind of familiar with dogs a little bit. It was mostly law enforcement. The CART team has some civilian SAR people on it, but it's mostly law enforcement. So I was down there just talking to them about dog stuff, and tracking and things like that. So they're all in uniform and dressed up. I was wearing fucking shorts and t-shirt. So
you and I were talking about it this morning. We had that episode with Bradley on. Episode 174? Is that what we were talking about?
Yep.
Yeah, where they found that dude. He'd been missing for a couple of years. We were talking about it this morning.
Still smoking, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I talked about that. It was cool. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources were there, the wildlife guys, and they actually have really developed some tracking teams, which is humans doing man tracking plus with dogs. And it's just I told that story so that they didn't try to guess. And like me, And most law enforcement guys, we've never heard of that study done,
Right.
lost people tendencies or whatever it's called. There's an app and everything for it. I had never heard of that until 22 when that episode came out. So we were able to talk to them about that and Cal Topo, stuff.
I just took a class through the Oklahoma Tactical Officers Association, which is like a large statewide organization that does like mainly SWAT stuff. But a former guest we've had on, Mick Bonet, which I can't remember the episode, it was one of our most downloaded, was the visual tracking thing, right? And Mick is like, and I think we called it adult hide and go seek or something.
Something like that.
I went and sat through the actual 3 or 4 day visual tracking course with him and Quentin from way down south with Light Horse guys. And I'll tell you what, I learned a shit ton about finding people without dogs. Like the visual tracking thing, if you're a canine handler and you're listening to this and you track, whether you're single or dual purpose or whatever it is, and you have an opportunity to go to somebody that's good at visual tracking, you will 100% take away stuff from that. Normally those guys are not canine guys. And in fact, when I was there, I did a canine portion. I taught a canine portion for these guys. But I learned a shit ton about visual tracking, about how to track people without dogs. And you can find people 100%.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And I said, I told him I wish we had done, got to go to man tracking stuff, but we didn't, back in my day. So anyways, what do we got going on tonight?
Well, tonight we have somebody on from one of our sponsors, Horizon Structures. They've been around with us for quite a while. And we have Justin Zook from Horizon Structures. But one of the things that I hope that I know we're going to talk about is kind of like how and why and what, like, all the important things, all the who, why, what, when, where, why, how type stuff. Because that's one of the things that I get asked about a lot is, how do we order one? What do we order? What should I order? I'm like, I don't know. What do you want? So hopefully Justin's going to fill us in on some of that. So Justin, go ahead and introduce yourself and give us a little background.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks for having me on, guys. I'm Justin Zook, one of the owners of Structures. My dad started the company back in, I think, 2001, primarily focused on horse barns. So he focused a lot on horse barns originally, and then I'd say probably 10, 15 years ago, transitioned into a lot of the dog market, and through that, especially in the last few years, especially seen a large jump in a lot of the canine units that we work with, a lot of canine units, rescues, boarding facilities, a lot of different type of clients that we work with.
Where are you guys located at?
We're based out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Is our main facility, I'd say, right in the heart of the manufacturing hub of Amish country, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. Did you grow up like a horse guy?
Not a big horse guy. I'm a big dog guy. Grew up around horses, but I never really caught the bug myself.
Yeah, I always say I have a healthy respect for horses, and you can be over there, you 1,000 pounds scared cat. Jesus.
I'm scared to death of horses. An animal that big shouldn't be scared of anything, and yet, like, they're scared.
They're afraid of everything.
Yeah, plastic bags, mouses, like shit that. Yeah. Like, no.
Yeah.
One of our business partners, Ray at HRD, he has 4 horses. He has 2 big ones and 2 minis, Linguini, and I can't remember. It's like Taco and Linguini, and then Bonnie and Clyde are their names. But the little ones are mean as shit. Like, they fucking bite me. Like, they're Ray's like, oh no, just stick your hand out and feed them. I'm like, no, I'm good. And they bite. Like, they bit my girlfriend. Like, no, I'm good.
So how does how'd your dad get into the horse side of things then? Like, did he see a need, or this was a family thing? How did it come around?
Yeah, so my dad grew up in a lot of people from this area, grew up in the manufacturing kind of area, kind of as a construction guy, and he was a really good sales guy, and got into the horse barn there was a local builder who was Amish, and a lot of the Amish, they like to build, but they're not good with communication and working with clients and things like that. So my dad kind of took a hold of that and really ran with clients and kind of did the sales side for a while. And through that, Horizon Structures was born. And he basically bought from an Amish manufacturer and was a resale guy for quite some time. And through that, eventually, we built our own facility, and now we do a lot of in-house building and different buildings and a lot of things that came out of that.
Is it Lancaster or Lancaster?
Lancaster.
Okay, you got to make sure. I don't want to get beat up by going the wrong way. So now with the Amish, you probably just got to build sheds for all the e-bikes.
Yeah. Those things are everywhere. You see the scooters too. You see a bunch of, I mean, nobody pedals anymore. You see everything battery powered.
Yeah, I know. On Sundays you'll see them in the horses, going to church and things like that. But anytime I'm out in Amish country here in Ohio, I'm like, watch out! There's another kid on an e-bike going 40.
And they Uber around too. That's the interesting thing. They get in an Uber, and that doesn't count, I guess.
Yeah, I can't. Ted, have we talked? Do you have Amish in Tulsa? You don't have it, do you?
Down the road, yeah, we have a couple. They make their weird ass cookies with no sugar. They have a whole bakery down there. They do. It's like what? Like that's the thing. There's actually an Amish restaurant like right down the way. Well, it's like I don't know, like 40 minutes from here. Not like you do. Like I've been up where you're at, Eric, and I've dodged buggies 100%.
Oh, you get good at that.
Oh yeah, I bet. And poop.
The
set. Kind of a segue, not a segue, but an aside. Down south of here, about 30, 35, 40 minutes is where a lot of Amish folks are. And my wife's uncle does a lot of work with them. He builds tables and desks and stuff and does a lot of stuff with them. They're like closing businesses. They're running out. Like it's It's not a they're struggling. They're struggling down there. I think, they were always super expensive and all their stuff because people would pay it because it's Amish built or whatever.
Right.
But now they're closing a lot of woodworking businesses down there. It was pretty sad to see because their stuff is pretty good.
Wow, that's interesting.
So, what got him? Did somebody come to your dad and say, "Hey, could you do the same thing for a dog?"
So he kind of did that on his own. I mean, he really found, as he got bigger and as he kept selling more, horse barns and different products, we got into chicken coops as well. And really, it was an opportunity. It was the same way where there was a really quality product, and he saw a need, and we jumped on that. I think it was 2014. We jumped on that, and it's expanded. I mean, we started probably with single homeowner kennels, just people looking to have a nice place for their dog when they go to work, and eventually that kind of grew into some boarding facilities and breeding. Breeding was actually a big thing through COVID when the dog market boomed and that type of thing. We sold a lot of kennels to people starting breeding facilities, and then in I would say the past 5 years, I think we met you guys down in Nashville in 2021, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, that was probably one of our first canine shows that we did, and really saw a need in that market as well, because there's you guys obviously know a lot of handlers take their dogs home with them, and they're looking for a good place to house them as well. Whether, a lot of people keep them in the house, but obviously there's other needs as well.
It's funny you said that about the chicken coop. So I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day. He lives in this town just north of us called Hartville, and Hartville's got some Amish folks there, but Hartville is one of these little villages or towns. It's so freaking over-regulated in the little tiny government can't stay out of your shit. If you make a chicken coop, you have to submit your plans to the village council, and they have all these things for chicken coops. They have all these regulations and setup. You can't have any roosters. I'm like, get the F out of here, dude. I couldn't live there. I couldn't stand it.
Dude, I live 30 seconds from the downtown of one of the 50 largest metropolitan areas in the country, and 2 houses away from me, they have chickens in their yard.
Perfect.
Who
cares?
I don't
right?
care.
You know what I mean? They should.
But I mean, and they give me eggs, so also double, don't care. But I can't imagine. I don't know. I come from a state where we're not real fond of the government trying to tell us what to do with anything, whether the state or feds. But I can't imagine the state government coming like, you have to do this, much less a homeowners association or a city council.
No, it's just a little council. A little bullshit.
They've had that shit happen here, and city councils have been sued. Individual city councilors have been sued for that shit, not in Tulsa, but in neighboring counties, and like have been like pushed out of office because of it. So I can't imagine. Like, Ohio's weird though. Like
and like where I live, out in the country where I live, hey, there's no regulations on shit, dude. Electrical, that's it. That's the only. There's only
which I
no
get.
Building inspectors. There's electrical inspectors. That's it.
That's good.
Yeah, I can build a chicken coop all I want as long as I don't put electric in that bitch.
Well, it's crazy that the different area, it varies so much, different townships. One township can be super strict and the other is totally different. But we've seen, you sometimes a horse barn, depending because of the framing, because it's house framing, has to be residential code sometimes. We ran into that. You don't have a barn that's residential code. We've had to say no to some projects just because of that.
That's crazy. Yeah, like you have to be able to live in that thing. We're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break. When we get back, we're going to get into Horizon Structures and the dog kennels and how they're built and what it looks like and what it looks like when you contact them and everything like that. So stick around, check out the commercials, listen to the discount codes, especially check out all the stuff in the show notes for Horizon Structures. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to us for the past 6 years. It would not be possible without our sponsors. And one of our longest time sponsors, in fact, our longest time sponsor, is Tactical Police Canine, Aaron and Jason Ferguson. They are amazing. They've been amazing to us, and they are amazing to this industry. They have a new online series that is for law enforcement only. And law enforcement guys, you know how important it is to keep up on your practices and your education. This one is for you. It's a canine criminal interdiction series, and it is literally for you guys to expand your knowledge on canine usage during traffic stops and interdiction work. It's going to cover things like roadside interview techniques, identifying traps and hidden compartments, related case law and record keeping strategies, you name it, it is in this course and you need to have it. If you go to their website, tacticalpolicecaninetraining.com, and you use their discount code NARC, all caps, you will get 20% off any of their online courses. Check them out. Dogtra. We use so many Dogtra products that it's hard to even tell you where we begin. All of our canine get a Dogtra e-collar. We use the 1900 black, and all of our pets get a 200C. All of our canines use bark collars. We have their ball training systems. We've even bought a quail launcher from them. We use bungee collars. You name it. If it goes on your dog's neck, we get it at Dogtra. Dogtra has been great to us through the years. We love their sponsorship. We love their products. I order them every single week. If you go to Dogtra.com, you can use the discount code WDR10. You'll get 10% off a single item over $200. You can also check out Dogtra Official for their socials and follow them there and see what other products that they're coming out with because they innovate every day. Dogtra.com. RecSpecs Canine. I'm so excited that these guys came aboard. I stalked them for years. Yes, I did, and unapologetically so. They make amazing products. I love nothing more than seeing a tiny little Chihuahua wearing the googly eye RecSpecs. But they don't just make fun products. They make serious products that actually help dogs. These RecSpec goggles have a UV rating of 400. They keep the UV rays off of your dog's eyes. They also protect your dog from getting debris, dust, dirt, sticks, seeds, rocks, anything in their eyes. And then something that Ted and I use at the kennel every single week without fail is RecSpec's Ear Pro. You slide it over the dog's head. It's easy to use. And most importantly, it actually protects your dog's hearing. You guys can check them out if you have a search and rescue dog, a pet dog, an active dog, a service dog, a hunting dog. Go to RecSpecs.com, check out all their products. RecSpecs Canine on the socials. If you use Working Dog Radio, all lowercase on their website as a discount code, you will get 20% off. American Aluminum has been in business since 1992. They have been making so many things for law enforcement. It is not even funny. They make great things for the canine industry, such as canine inserts that actually saves dogs' lives in wrecks, and much, much more. I don't know if you guys listened to the episode on Canine Corporal, but please do so. It is an amazing episode that really talks about the value of what their products do. American Aluminum makes things that you might not even know that they make, like inmate transport systems, canine training aids, canine inserts, contraband containment, animal control systems, and the list goes on. American Aluminum makes great products here in America, and it is a fantastic company to get to know. You can call them at 800-277-0869. You can get a quote if you go to quotes at aaa-mail.com and ask them for a quote. They will be glad to oblige. Please tell them that we sent you. Arnaud at ALM Canine Equipment has been one of our longest time friends. 13 years ago, Arnaud made a suit for Ted. We call it his Whoopee, and he still has this suit, and it is still the only suit that he wears. We have had this thing re-sleeved about 6 times. It's ridiculous. It smells like a dead body, and he wears it all the time, much to my chagrin. But it is just a testament to how amazing of a product that Arnaud makes. He comes up with his own color combinations. You can get something custom. He hand sews it. Reach out to him at almcanineequipment.com. Check him out on Instagram at almcanineequipment. If you guys need a canine containment system, otherwise known as a kennel, if you need one or you need many, you need to reach out to Horizon Structures. Horizon makes anything that you can think of, from mild to wild. You can customize their kennels from the ground up. And the best part is, when they are done, they will drive it to your location. They will set it on your pad, and you plug this thing in, and it is ready to add dogs to immediately. Anything that you can think of in a kennel, Horizon Structures can make it happen. We've seen them. They are beautiful. If you go to Horizon Structures and check them out on the socials, if you can call them 888-447-4337, or check them out online, horizonstructures.com. They always have something cool going on. Thank you guys so much. Stay tuned. We have so many amazing things happening.
All right, everybody, we are back. Working Dog Radio, broadcasting the bite. Eric Stambro and Ted Summers with Justin Zook, the CEO of Horizon Structures, one of our sponsors, and we've been, had them around for a while. We love it. There's some people that have bought, people that we know in this industry that have bought kennels from them. So let's talk about, you get into the dog stuff. Where in the beginning, were you building like those onesies, like the one for the individual handler, or did you right away start building multiple run?
I would say first it was individual runs, for handlers, homeowners, things like that. We started with one.
So what does one look like? If people go to horizonstructures.com and you can look at all this stuff, but let's talk about, so I'm a handler. I want the dog out in the cold, but I don't want him in my house either because my wife hates him. What does that one off look for them?
Yeah. We still do a lot of that. I mean, we have a kind of a canine package where you basically get everything, the dog needs. I mean, you get, it's AC, heat in there, drains, welded wire, kind of really proof it to where it's kind of our upgraded package, where you have fully washable interior, very well insulated. And really, I mean, you can go as detailed as you'd like. I mean, you can do feeder bowls, lockable interior dog doors, things like that really make it very nice and very easy to use. And also you can set it up to where, I mean, it's something where if you have an aggressive dog and somebody else needs to, take care of the dog for a bit of time, that's, an option too. I mean, you can separate, the interior to where you can use those feeder bowls to feed the dogs if you have to, and things, you can put that dog outside and clean the interior, while that dog is in the outside run area, and things like that that make it very easy for really anybody to use.
Is that like using a guillotine door there for
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
So
What size? What kind of dimensions are we talking?
A lot of what we see is 8 by 10. So you have 4 by 8 interior space and 4 by 8 exterior space. Is probably our most popular. We do a lot of, Malinois, German Shepherds, things like that, and that's typically the size that we see most people go with.
So it's interesting because from a business perspective, or I guess from the canine side, not necessarily from the Horizon Structure side, but from an administrator side, like if you're listening to this and you're an administrator in wherever, one of the significant issues that you have is housing the dog when they're not working, right? Like we have federal case law on it. A lot of it comes out of the Ninth Circuit, shockingly. And we've had some guests on the show that have actually defended dudes on that. But having the dog secure when they're not working, it's a 24-hour thing. One of the main, at least where I'm at in my area of the country, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, southern Missouri, is they always have to pour a pad, right? So you got to pour a pad, then you got to put the pre-fert kennels up and do all the other shit and everything else. The issue becomes if the handler gets fired, quits, dog gets transferred something else, you can't move that pad. And the department has paid for this pad generally. So now there's this concrete pad that's out bad, which, it costs what it costs. And there's a scheduling issue and there's all these other problems. So the thing that a couple of my departments locally have done is because the departments own the dog, right? Like everyone listening to this that runs a dog, the vast majority of you don't own your dog, your department does. They also own the structure that the dog lives in. So if the dog if you get fired, if you get quit, or if you get promoted, like God forbid you decide to promote out of canine, they come and they take this structure and they move it to the next handler's house. And I have to pour a new pad and I have to do anything else. They just got to fucking plug it in and hook water up to it and it's good to go. So it's a substantial, it's like a little more upfront, I think, because concrete, but I mean, the downside is like you're going to have to pour a concrete pad like every place you go. And then it becomes like a constant, like who got what and who's got what where. And this way, too, administrators have a way to say, we provided X, Y, and Z. This is what we have. This is where it's at. This is where the dog is at. This is how he's housed and all these other things. So it's more than just like a housing problem. It's an answer to a case law problem, and it's an answer to a policy problem as well.
So when in the back of the singular one can you open up? Is there room to like store stuff?
You can. So a lot of people actually split them off on the inside as well, where they'll take 4 by 8 is a good amount of space, so they'll take 2 or 3 feet of that and put a welded gate in there, and separate that off to do a storage room or to be able to have that option.
So anybody who builds stuff or makes things that working dogs, especially Malinois, are around. They build it, and then the dogs teach them what they can screw up, what they can destroy. And what kind of like evolution have you seen that you've had to make because, man, that freaking dog just ripped this off and we didn't think he could do it, and then he did it. What are some changes you've had to make based on experience like that?
Yeah, we've seen a few things. I mean, probably the main thing has been the seams in the walls that we've when we first started. I mean, we used kind of a click-in panel, and that really just didn't work. The drains that we used, they had a little lip on either side of the drain. It kind of set on top of the floor. Now we actually put the drain in, and then we'll pour the floor. The floor that we use is polyurea, so it's almost like a plastic concrete is what I call it. So
that's cool. Yeah.
So we actually pour that over the corners of the drain now to really seal that in, and basically our goal is to have no edges. Any edge is a problem.
I always say dogs are like prisoners, man. When they get bored, they'll try to figure out how to get out of shit, make liquor, smoke cigarettes, all kinds of stuff, man. They're terrible about it. So, like, how does it work? So I'm a department and we have 6 dogs. So maybe we need like an 8-run kennel. How does all that? What does it look like from start to finish?
Yeah. So the first thing is contact our team, and we have a great in-house specialist. We have a GSA contract as well, so we're on a GSA contract where we have certain models where agencies don't have to take the full project out to bid. So we have certain models within that GSA contract that are a great fit for units that are looking for something like that. And it's really, connecting with somebody from our design team, allowing them to really run through it and hear what you guys, need and are looking for. And some people obviously want different things. I mean, we did a unit, I think it was a six or an 8 run unit down in Georgia for a canine unit. And they did like a wash station in there where they were able to wash all the dogs down right in the kennel. They actually had almost like a lobby area inside of the kennel. So it was kind of like a lobby space and then the kennels on the far side. It was a really creative project, and they were able to wash dogs down and then house them under surveillance as well. They had a full surveillance system in there, and it was a really cool setup. But to get back to your question, obviously work with our design team, and then it's basically letting us fill out the paperwork. I mean, there's always paperwork involved on the back end, and we have a great team that really takes care of that from start to finish.
Now, do you do it where the runs are on both sides of the building, or is everything on one side?
I would say majority are on one side, but we do some of both. We do a good bit of center aisle where you have runs on either side. I'd say that's probably going to be our larger models. We see that a lot for breeder rescues or even larger canine, facilities, because a lot of times, you have 6 on one side, 6 on the other, or something like that. But no, we do a good bit of that as well.
So if I'm trying to get, and I don't want to do shit, right? I just need to buy this thing and it show up. Do you have like a hot water tank you can put in there to get hot water to the dogs? And like, what can you do so I don't have to do anything?
Yeah, there is a hot water heater that we can put in there. Really, we try to make it as really plug and play. I mean, there's not a whole lot as far as what you ask. I mean, we've done kitchen cabinets, kitchen sinks, hoses, hose ports on the outside. I mean, there's really, when we drop it off, pretty much the only things that are needed are running the electrical and plumbing lines to the kennel for the hookup.
I think actually you just said that having the water on the outside of the kennel available is pretty sweet. In case you got to take a shit crate out there or something and clean that thing out full of diarrhea and barf and everything else. You might not want to do that in the building. But so what is your best setup at so if there's going to be people listening to it and they're thinking, they're like, well, we have X amount of space. I think there's a flat spot. Like, how much bigger than the building would you like the pad? Is a pad preferred over just piles of gravel? And what are the hookups you like to see?
Yeah, I would say as far as space wise, I mean, you can get a really nice, it's actually incredible how compact you can actually make these things while still giving the dogs a good amount of space. I mean, you can get a 6-run kennel that's 12 by 24, or you can go, a little bit bigger. I think the 6-run that we did with the lobby space, I think that was only 12 by 32. And the nice thing about that, I mean, really anything under, I'd say 40 feet, you can put directly on gravel. And it actually helps with drainage as well. I mean, you wash down those exterior runs on concrete, a lot of times, a lot of that water is going to sit on that concrete, whereas, you do gravel, it'll kind of create a French drain for itself and really take care of itself with the fluids and all that wash down.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I didn't really think about that. Water, electric is kind of what you got going on.
Yeah, so we'll have a breaker box on the inside that's basically connected. Everything on the inside is connected to that breaker, and it's really just running a 100 amp line directly up that breaker and making that connection, and you're good to go. Same with the plumbing. We'll have a hookup in the kennel, so it's really just running a water line directly to that connecting point, connecting that, and then obviously for your, say, sewer, a lot of people connect to their existing septic tank, or that's probably what we see the most. People will connect to that, or depending on, with 4 to 6 dogs, you can get away with a French drain as well. You create a nice big French drain outside of your exit point of your kennel drain, and it actually, runs right in there and pretty much takes care of itself.
So when I had my kennel, there was a big, huge, giant sewer drain that everything went to, and we could just put it down through there. Does yours run outside, or is it connected to the sewer there where you're at?
I would probably run them straight into that same drain.
Yeah.
But
as soon as I asked you that question, we couldn't hear you at all.
Sorry.
Not one.
No, sorry. Mine runs straight into the sewer line, and I properly fill out all the paperwork that I was supposed to, and with the city and whatever else. So it runs straight into the sewer line, straight from like a floor drain in our outdoor runs and my indoor runs. runs everything into a drain. But if I had one of these Horizon structures, I would probably run into the same thing. And it's just a municipality thing. Like, you just have to check and see. And the permits aren't that big of a deal usually. Like, you can handle it. Like, and honestly, when they asked us what they were worried about was the amount of liquid that was going to be running. Like, they said liquid or some kind of, I don't know how they measured it, but it was like, how much of X are you going to be putting through? I'm like, well, shit, I don't know. I'm not an engineer. Like, I don't know. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing that. They're like, oh, so it's, and they answered it for me. I'm like, all right, whatever. So, but mine runs straight into like the actual septic, because like I said, I'm like, my kennel is literally about 30 seconds from the center of downtown Tulsa. Like, I'm in the middle of downtown, like in the metropolitan area, and it runs straight into the sewer. So, like, we scoop all the solids, and everything is power washed into a drain, and then it just goes away.
So now, Justin, do you guys, is there a drain in each kennel, or does it go to like a angled kind of trough there?
There is typically a drain in each kennel. So the drain basically funnels down into a pipe which runs all the way to one end of the kennel. And then on the outside is where we'll do, a lot of people just leave it as the decking and then it'll, run it, pick up the solids and hose it down. But that's kind of on the outside where we get into some of that trough as well, where you can do a trough on the front side, and that washes to the end as well.
Is the 6-run your biggest seller, you think, or the singles?
Oh boy, I would say I wouldn't be surprised if it's about half and half, because it's a very different need. It's a very, if you're doing a 6-run, it's kind of to house, bring all dogs together, have surveillance, versus I'd say the 8x10s or the single runs are more for, at handlers' homes.
Yeah, I do like those things. Are cool, man. Like, they're pretty slick. At my old house, when I was a handler, we built, I had a shed in the back, and I kind of converted it. It was similar in design, but not really that good. It was pretty hokey, but it did keep the dogs out of the freezing cold, and and I was able to put some fans and everything in there. But that air conditioning is really nice, especially like where Ted's at, where in April it starts getting into the 80s, so it gets pretty hot over where he's at.
Yeah.
You live in those things.
Yeah, I hope you never have to. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and take our second commercial break. When we get back, we're going to talk about Mild to Wild. We're going to talk about some customized stuff and some cool things that they've done. And we'll be back. Guys, check out the show notes and listen to the commercials. Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to us for the past 6 years. It would not be possible without our sponsors. And one of our longest time sponsors, in fact, our longest time sponsor, is Tactical Police Canine, Aaron and Jason Ferguson. They are amazing. They've been amazing to us, and they are amazing to this industry. They have a new online series that is for law enforcement only. And law enforcement guys, you know how important it is to keep up on your practices and your education. This one is for you. It's a canine criminal interdiction series, and it is literally for you guys to expand your knowledge on canine usage during traffic stops and interdiction work. It's going to cover things like roadside interview techniques, identifying traps and hidden compartments, related case law and record keeping strategies. You name it, it is in this course, and you need to have it. If you go to their website, tacticalpolicecaninetraining.com, and you use their discount code NARC, all caps, you will get 20% off any of their online courses. Check them out. Dogtra. We use so many Dogtra products that it's hard to even tell you where we begin. All of our canine get a Dogtra e-collar. We use the 1900 black, and all of our pets get a 200C. All of our canines use bark collars. We have their ball training systems. We've even bought a quail launcher from them. We use bungee collars. You name it. If it goes on your dog's neck, we get it at Dogtra. Dogtra has been great to us through the years. We love their sponsorship. We love their products. I order them every single week. If you go to Dogtra.com, you can use the discount code WDR10. You'll get 10% off a single item over $200. You can also check out Dogtra Official for their socials and follow them there and see what other products that they're coming out with, because they innovate every day. Dogtra.com. Rex-Specs Canine. I'm so excited that these guys came aboard. I stocked them for years. Yes, I did, and unapologetically so. They make amazing products. I love nothing more than seeing a tiny little Chihuahua wearing the googly eye Rex-Specs. But they don't just make fun products. They make serious products that actually help dogs. These Rex-Spec goggles have a UV rating of 400. They keep the UV rays off of your dog's eyes. They also protect your dog from getting debris, dust, dirt, sticks, seeds, rocks, anything in their eyes. And then something that Ted and I use at the kennel every single week without fail is Rex-Specs Ear Pro. You slide it over the dog's head. It's easy to use. And most importantly, it actually protects your dog's hearing. You guys can check them out if you have a search and rescue dog, a pet dog, an active dog, a service dog, a hunting dog. Go to rexspecs.com, check out all their products. Rex-Specs Canine on the socials. If you use Working Dog Radio, all lowercase, on their website as a discount code, you will get 20% off. American Aluminum has been in business since 1992. They have been making so many things for law enforcement. It is not even funny. They make great things for the canine industry, such as canine inserts that actually saves dogs' lives in wrecks, and much, much more. I don't know if you guys listened to the episode on Canine Corporal, but please do so. It is an amazing episode that really talks about the value of what their products do. American Aluminum makes things that you might not even know that they make, like inmate transport systems, canine training aids, canine inserts, contraband containment, animal control systems, and the list goes on. American Aluminum makes great products here in America, and it is a fantastic company to get to know. You can call them at 800-277-0869. You can get a quote if you go to quotes at aaa-mail.com and ask them for a quote. They will be glad to oblige. Please tell them that we sent you. Arnaud at ALM Canine Equipment has been one of our longest time friends. 13 years ago, Arnaud made a suit for Ted. We call it his Whoopee, and he still has this suit, and it is still the only suit that he wears. We have had this thing re-sleeved about 6 times. It's ridiculous. It smells like a dead body, and he wears it all the time, much to my chagrin. But it is just a testament to how amazing of a product that Arnaud makes. He comes up with his own color combinations. You can get something custom. He hand sews it. Reach out to him at almcanineequipment.com. Check him out on Instagram at almcanineequipment. If you guys need a canine containment system, otherwise known as a kennel, if you need one or you need many, you need to reach out to Horizon Structures. Horizon makes anything that you can think of, from mild to wild. You can customize their kennels from the ground up. And the best part is, when they are done, they will drive it to your location. They will set it on your pad, and you plug this thing in, and it is ready to add dogs to immediately. Anything that you can think of in a kennel, Horizon Structures can make it happen. We've seen them. They are beautiful. If you go to Horizon Structures and check them out on the socials, if you can call them 888-447-4337, or check them out online, horizonstructures.com. They always have something cool going on. Thank you guys so much. Stay tuned. We have so many amazing things happening.
All right, everybody, we are back. Working Dog Radio, broadcasting the bite. Eric Stambro and Ted Summers. And Justin Zook from Horizon Structures, one of our sponsors and one of our just amazing this stuff. I'm telling you guys, you want to geek out, go get on their website and just play around, look around at stuff and see what's on there. I remember a couple years ago when I was looking at property, I talked to your design guy and we talked on the phone, and that guy had answers for every single question within a second. He knew everything. He knew like what would be best where, and then I ended up not getting the property and end up renting from an Amish guy actually, and a place. But so if you listen to our commercials when we're talking about Horizon Structures, well, it was Ted and I, but now it's Alicia on there. We talk about Horizon Structures, anything from mild to wild. What does that mean to you guys?
Yeah, I mean we've seen a lot of things. I mean there was one, oh boy, I think we did a 10-run unit, I believe it was in Arizona, that we craned it in 3 pieces. They had a concrete courtyard, and there was, I mean, their gate was maybe 8 feet wide, so there was no way we were going to get in there. So we basically brought a crane out and craned it in 3 pieces and assembled it right on site.
How many people does that take?
I think there was 4 guys on site, and it took about 2 days.
Wow. Ted, you don't have like space if you had to add to that building that you're at?
I do. I actually plumbed 100 feet of area where I could pour more concrete and pour more lines. There's actually a sewer line already buried and everything else. But I mean, if I had to, I could. I actually wanted to tell the story about me building the shipping container kennel with my former partner, and how much, I'm not going to tell you how much it costs. It's more expensive than what it would have cost from Horizon. We converted a 40-foot shipping container to a basically an indoor-outdoor kennel. So the dogs had indoor runs. It was a central line. There was basically a central hallway. I say hallway, but it was like a central walking way with like indoor runs on each side, and the dogs had big outdoor runs on each side of it. And it was expensive. The actual shipping container itself, I think, was $2,000. And I think a lot of times people hear, they're like, yeah, I can get a shipping container for $2,000. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I thought. But I'm like, and then we had somebody that was experienced in converting shipping containers to, not shipping containers to whatever, and it was still super fucking expensive.
Yeah, let somebody else.
I mean, and on top of that, like, for example, like in ours that we built, like each run was basically a shower drain. So it was like a poured concrete thing with like a super epoxy bullshit on it and whatever else. So it was easy to clean, but it was super expensive. And then we had problems with like where like the line, because none of the shit was pre-made. So everything was custom made. So all the fencing was pre-made on the inside, or custom made on the inside. And then we had problems with the way that it attached. And it was just like one thing after another. And I'm not an engineer. I'm not a design person. Like, I am a dog trainer and a business dude. And it was I didn't know about Horizon at the time. So had I have been like, oh, fuck it, I'll buy one of these, because literally by the time because it's been since paid for and moved, I don't have access to it anymore, but it served its purpose. But I think we had 16 dogs in there, 16 like little runs on the inside, which were basically like giant kennels that they stayed inside. And then we had like guillotine doors, which were also, we have remote control cars on Mars that have their own remote control helicopters, and the engineering behind the guillotine doors was absolutely mind-boggling to me. Anyway, so they all have these guillotine doors at work and whatever else. So everyone's like, oh yeah, buy one of these fucking shipping container things and convert it. Don't do it. It's a fucking pain in the ass.
Let someone else,
and it will not work. It is expensive, and the labor is super expensive. Like, I mean, welders and like engineers and architects. We didn't hire an architect, but I had some engineers work on some of the stuff, and it was like, $2,500 just for the engineering bill. So I paid more for just the engineering than I did on the actual shipping container. So
yeah, I bet.
Like, and then on top of that, I think for the most people listening to this, you're dog trainers or you're breeders, or you're not an engineer, or you're not a builder, you're not whatever. You may have a husband or a wife or somebody or a partner that is like in that industry, but still it's a highly specialized thing, and it is not something you just be like, oh, I'm just going to go to Home Depot and buy X and plug it in on a pre-built shed and it's going to work. I guarantee you it's not. Believe me, I've been there and I've done that.
What's the biggest one you guys have made, dog kennel wise?
Biggest dog kennel wise, we're a little bit limited as far as, so what we do is we build everything in our facility and then we ship it out on the road. So anything that we build is basically transported on the road, normally in one unit. So we go typically up to 60 feet long, or we can do some connections, but normally 60 feet long. And the biggest one that we've done is 24 runs, which would be in one building, which would be 12 on one side, 12 on the other, with your aisle down the center.
60 feet's a haul. That's a
It's a big ass
unit.
kennel.
Yeah, that's a good size unit.
That's
yeah. Yeah, no, it is. And they had some really cool stuff. Now that I think of that project, they had some really cool stuff. I think we raised the floors in that one so they could get floor. So we put piping in. I don't think we ran the actual the hookups, but we put all the piping in for floor heat. So we raised the floors up about 6 inches and retrofitted all the piping in there that they needed for floor heat. And then they basically hooked up to their, I think they ran it off of, it was either gas or propane, and ran their water through those pipes and had their floor heat.
Oh shit. That's some bougie shit right there, man. Don't want the dogs to get their feet a little bit cold. So, what's been your favorite design that you've got to mess with? One you're like, man, this is cool. I didn't even think about this.
Probably there's two that stick out. One was a big canine. One was a unit down in, I think it was the Atlanta area. They did 10, 12 run units, and they set it up as almost like a courtyard. So we did like, we kind of worked with their plans and kind of incorporated our plans, and they created like a little courtyard with some sidewalk, and it was actually really cool to see how all the engineering, like you said, Ted, all the engineering that actually goes into a lot of the different things, and see how that project really came together. Like where, all these 10 units, we want everything to go to the same place. So we kind of have to set it up according, that we can run everything to the same place, but still do it efficiently. So that was probably a really cool project. Another one was actually over COVID. There was, they wanted a lot of kennels, but they wanted quarantine. So basically I think they had a 30-acre property, and every canine got its own like 8x10 and a little courtyard. So they fenced in a 15 by 15 fenced in area and put one of these units in, and I think they did 30 of them. So that was really that was really cool. But then you have to run, then you're running electric to every single one, and you're hooking up the drain to every single one, and it was a lot of work, but it was a cool design.
Okay, sounds really cool. Unneeded, but sounds cool. Quarantining dogs, get out. Dogs with masks on. So, like, are you guys still doing is the horse barn still a big deal with you guys?
We do, yeah, we do a lot of horse barns.
I was on there looking the other day, and man, I don't. Again, I'm afraid of horses. I don't have horses, but those things are so freaking nice. I might, I would want one of those. It's so huge, and so they're so cool looking. Like, what part of the country do you sell the most horse barns, you think?
It really depends. I mean, we have, so for the dog kennels, we build everything here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. For the horse barn side, we actually have 5 locations throughout the U.S. So we have one in Wyoming, one in South Carolina, one up in the Northeast. So we do a lot. I would say it depends on season. I mean, we do a lot in South Carolina right now. South Carolina, Florida. And then the Northeast is probably our bread and butter. I mean, we started in the Northeast, and we have a lot of good clients up in the Northeast.
Now, in the horse barn, do you deliver it like that, or you got to build on their site for the real big ones?
We do a lot more build on site for the horse barns. So that's basically the same system where we deliver it in sections, but majority of like the roof system and that type of thing is done on site, but it's normally still everything within a week or two, depending on size.
Wow, that's crazy. I love it. So let's talk about the website. I know it's pretty interactive. What should guys go there and look at when they're kind of trying to figure out what they want?
Yeah, so how the website is set up right now is you have kind of a page for our residential kennels, which is going to be more of those single models, the housing units, and then we have a commercial section, which is going to be the bigger models with a lot of different designs for those. So it really separates the two, and we're actually, I'd say, stay tuned. We're working on a web page specific for canine and GSA buyers. So that's something we're very excited about, to kind of tailor more to those clients and really give them an experience that I'd say they deserve or that they're looking for.
I'm glad you brought up the GSA thing, because that's important. Ted and I are both shaking our heads when you said that, because guys just right now heard that and we're like, oh, sweet, thank God. Now I don't got to try to go all these different bids and all this other crap. That's an easy. When you get on the GSA, how long is that for?
We renew every year.
Every year, okay.
But we're basically, we're very proactive because it makes everything easy on our end as well. It's just easier for everybody, really.
Yeah, I like it. That's a good idea, man. That was really smart. So, you guys have social media presence?
We do on Facebook, on YouTube as well. So that's an effort into trying to create more content. I would say right now we're really creating content, trying to show what we offer.
Is it Horizon Structures on YouTube? Cool, man. Ted, where are you at?
Ted_Summers, Torchlight Canine, letter K number 9, Torchlight Pets. This is where you can watch me fat shame pet dogs. I got a dog right now. I have a cattle dog that I swear sweats gravy. He is an angry fat man. But he's on Torchlight Pets. He's bit just about every one of our trainers. His name's, I'm not gonna say his name. It doesn't matter. He's a liver like cattle dog. He's a dick. But we have some fun ones. We just got a blind Pomeranian. Dog was born with no eyes. Yeah, and it's the only Pomeranian. It's not a jerk. It's the nicest, sweetest dog in the world. You'd think, like, when they brought it in, I was like, this thing's going to bite everyone. Hadn't bit anybody. And just wants to be petted. It walks around and walks into walls. It's like a Roomba. But like, there's pictures of that up too. HRD Police Canine. We've just scheduled Waxahachie, Texas for February, and a closed seminar in Boston in March. So basically outside of that, we're still open for the rest of the year. But and then obviously working_dog_radio. Where are you, Eddie?
Van S Canine on Instagram, Van S Canine Academy on Facebook. It's a lot of the same stuff. WorkingDogRadio.com. We have t-shirts and stickers and all kinds of stuff up there you can guys get. We got some pretty funny designs. Came out with a couple new ones recently. On Instagram, if you check out my new page, Tap Daddy BJJ, it's going to be apparel for us older jiu-jitsu folks. Well, actually anybody, but that's kind of what it's designed for, is us old ass dudes. They're choking people out. So
old man strength.
Right. Yeah. Ridgeside Canine, Ohio. If you look on everything, that's the pet stuff. We put up a lot of content there. 4 posts a day on Facebook. So there's a lot. If you just need to get a fix looking at some really cute dogs, and I don't know, you'll see my picture maybe once a year, which is cool. And that's about it. So Justin, it's been great having you on, man. Our relationship with you guys is amazing. We love it. The stuff you guys are doing there is incredible. Even when we started, you guys were killing it, and it looks like you've added so much stuff on, and it's gotten better and better and better, and we're really happy to see it. That I'd like to see is, do you have a picture of that 10 run thing that you did, that 10 building thing with all the courtyard and everything, or is that like super secret?
I think we would have some. So that one's still in final stages. So we actually went into production not too long ago. So we're actually in the midst of that one.
Cool. All right.
But no, we'll be
pictures of that one.
we'll be showcasing
done,
that.
put up it. Yeah.
That'll
be cool, man. I'll look forward to seeing that. That'll look pretty nice. There'll be some new guy out there picking up cigarette butts and rocks on.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm suspect. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking in, and again, thanks for supporting our sponsors. I know a few of you guys out there have bought kennels from Horizon Structures. I'm telling you guys right now, those single dog kennels for your house are freaking awesome.
Especially when you factor in the cost of a pad.
Yeah, it's so good, guys. Just go take a look at those, man. You'll be the bougiest canine handler in your neighborhood. So, anyways, thanks, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.